Where warmth begins, the valley welcomed them with a gentler wind. Grass bent softly beneath their hooves, still green despite the cold that chased them from the north. For the first time in many days, the Appaloosa brothers allowed themselves to slow, not because they were weak, but because the land itself said, "You are safe for now." Storm, the eldest, breathed deeply. His body ached from leading, from watching, from never sleeping fully. Yet his eyes were calm. This was the kind of place he had been searching for, not perfect, but forgiving. Ash rolled his shoulders and snorted, fire returning to his veins. He ran a short circle, testing the ground, then stopped and looked back at his brothers with a spark that said life was calling again. River stepped forward last. The youngest moved carefully, but his steps were steadier now, confidence growing with every breath of warmer air. They had survived the ridge. They had survived the night. Now they had to survive the choice. Because staying meant risk, and moving meant danger. Winter was still coming. The valley would not stay kind forever. As dusk fell, the sky softened into deep orange and rose. The brothers grazed in silence, listening to the quiet music of insects and distant water. For a moment, it felt like home. Then Storm smelled it, smoke, not fire from the sky but from the ground, controlled, careful, human. Ash's ears snapped forward, River froze. Memories stirred old fears carried in scent and sound. Humans had once taken from this land. They had also saved lives. The world was never one thing. The smoke grew stronger, and with it came a low fence in the distance, barely visible. Beyond it lay open grass, trampled paths, and fresh water that did not freeze. A sanctuary. Storm stepped closer, then stopped. He looked back at his brothers. This choice was not his alone. Ash approached the fence first, bold but alert. He sniffed the wood, pawed the earth, tested the air. No shouting, no chasing, only quiet. River stayed close to Storm, heart racing but curious. Then a human appeared, not running, not shouting. Just standing still, hands low, eyes soft. The human did not cross the distance. Did not demand. Waited. Time stretched again, like it always did when something important was about to change. Storm lowered his head. He remembered the winter that took their mother. He remembered the nights he stood guard so his brothers could sleep. He also remembered the cold. Storm stepped forward. Ash followed, trusting. River hesitated, then felt a gentle nudge from behind two brothers, one promise. Together, they crossed. Inside the fence, the ground was warmer. The water flowed freely. Shelter stood nearby, simple but strong. The human backed away slowly, leaving space, leaving choice. The brothers drank deeply. Ash laughed and kicked playfully. River closed his eyes as warmth soaked into his bones. Storm watched the horizon one last time. They were no longer running. Winter would still arrive, but they would meet it together, fed, sheltered, and unbroken. That night, as stars returned and the wind softened, three Appaloosa brothers slept close for warmth. Not because they were afraid, but because they were family. Migration had taught them many things. That strength is shared, that fear can be faced. That home is not always where you begin, but where you choose to stay together. And in the quiet valley, where warmth truly began, their journey found its rest.